Om Shanti. In Hindi, there are three words: janna, manna, or chalna. I think we can translate it like knowing, believing, and behaving. And there is a very good saying: it doesn't matter what you believe, it matters how you behave. So, in the world, there are many beliefs, there are many opinions. And when Baba comes, he gives us a different opinion about what is what, who is who, what's going on, and what should I do. So we all know what is Baba's opinion about everything. And sometimes we believe that opinion. So most of Baba's children, they not only know the knowledge, but they believe in the knowledge. So we believe that I'm a soul, and with the war and the COVID that went, most of us believe it is the time for destruction. Yes, we believe that. But then we have to check whether we behave accordingly. Because even if sometimes we say we believe it, we are not behaving to get ready for that. We know it is time to go back. Baba has told it is time for a pure world to set in. And Baba today says in the Murli very beautifully, in the last line, Baba says, this Delhi will become the land of angels. Now, in order to go to the land of angels, become beautiful flowers. So, we sometimes say we believe that, yes, this world is going to become heaven and this Delhi is going to become the land of angels. But am I practicing enough to become the beautiful flower that will go to the land of angels? So the question is not what we believe, the question is how we behave. And it's very important because, there are many things that, and when I listen to children making excuses, so yesterday also Baba asked one very important question: have you ever made an excuse to miss Murli? And sometimes we say our excuses are genuine, but there is no genuine excuse to miss Murli, because Murli is the elixir of life now. Murli is God's Murli. So there is no excuse for missing Murli. So Baba says, just check whether you are following Srimad. And today in the Murli, Baba says, the Father himself says, I have come to take all of you back home. I am called Death, the Great Death. So Baba is called Kal, Mahakal. So Baba is called Death, the Great Death. Death is just in front of you. Therefore, follow my directions and also claim a high status. There are different levels of status even in liberation in life. So even in Satyug, in heaven, in liberation in life, there are many status. So Baba says, just make the effort to claim that claim a high status now. And death is something that will come, and it is coming, and we have to accept it. Just think about the war that's going on. Did they have any idea this is going to happen 1 month back? Did they have any idea that they will be homeless and there'll be nothing, nothing that you attained, acquired, called your own, is that going to be with them? Did they have any idea that they're going to lose everything they had? And then you see that still the soul is there, and the soul has to find its way. Even if the soul is in the body in the face of the war, or the soul leaves the body, there is a destination that the soul has to go to. And then that destination is figured out according to how much spiritual effort the soul has made. We live in a world where we make material effort. We make effort to acquire matter. And then Ravan gives us this whole set of belief systems which says that material effort and the guidelines to, perpetuate material effort have to be adhered to. So if you want to make material effort, then you must have a family, you must get married, you must earn, you must get a job, this, that, and then you must be greedy, and then you must believe that survival of the fittest is the way. You must be tough, you must not be naive. So all of this Ravan teaches us. Ravan teaches us that lust, anger, ego, attachment, and greed is good for you because it helps you in your material effort. But in a second, there will be a situation where everything that we made effort for materially will no longer exist and no longer serve us. And only that which we acquired through this spiritual effort will stay with us. So it's just what so there are two things, karma and sanskar. So the sanskars that I have created will serve me, and the good karma that I have created will serve me. And Baba today says that I am teaching you the method for creating the sanskars that will serve you in the end, and the karma that will serve you in the end. And Baba says, this is Shrimat. Shrimat is the dictates of God, and in the whole world, people don't have access to Shrimat. So if you ask anyone, what is the preparation that one needs to do at this time? So, how do you prepare yourself for the coming world, or how do you prepare yourself to leave gracefully or leave peacefully? They don't know the effort. But Baba says, I'm giving you the Shrimat, I'm giving you the directions which will create a stage where your final thoughts will lead you to a final destination which will be heaven. So pay attention to that. And in today's Murli, Baba is underlining remembrance. There is a beautiful saying in Hindi, Simar Simar Sukh Pao, Kalah Kalesh Mite Sab Tan Ke. So Baba says, if you keep remembering me, you will go to the land of happiness, and all your diseases will go away, and you will go to a world which is free from disease. So when we talk about simmer simmer sukh pao, we are not talking about temporary happiness. We are talking about happiness which lasts for 21 births. And Baba says, if you remember me, you will have permanent happiness. You will go to that world of happiness, that world which is free from disease. Now, what is remembrance? And Baba says, I teach you this remembrance which nobody knows. And in another class, I was telling you that um, there was this person who asked me, so he told me that there is a mango on the table, and then there is you, and then how will the mango and you become one? And then I said, I and the mango cannot become one. And then he said, no, if you eat the mango, then you will become the mango. So, or the mango will become you. So, so that was a very funny way of saying that you can unify with something, or you can achieve oneness by eating stuff. So if you eat, then I asked him, so I should keep eating everybody and everything I find so that I can be one with everyone and everything. So, but Baba says, you see that remembrance is such a beautiful thing. Nobody taught us the art of remembrance. So you see, you remember a sweet flower, the sweetness of the flower becomes a part of you. Yes, so you want to be like someone or something, you remember them. And I remember there was this brother and he was taking the class, and I told him about remembrance, and he said, Didi, when sometimes I have to cook because there is no facility available, and then when I cook, I remember my mother. She used to cook very well. And when I remember my mother, I magically turn into a good cook. I have a lot of confidence that I can cook, and I really cook well when I cook remembering her. And that was said by a brother who didn't know how to remember Baba. So he remembered his mother, and his mother's culinary skills became part of him. So you see that not only qualities but efficiencies also can be drawn through the power of remembrance. This remembrance is so magical that if you remember somebody who is capable of some skill or some some speciality, then you draw that into yourself by remembering them. It's not just virtues but also capacities. And Baba says that in the Murli today, Baba says very beautiful lines. Baba says, I'm full in peace, I'm full in love. And when you remember me, you take your full inheritance. Because if you remember the one who is full, you become full. And then when you are full, you claim your full inheritance. So this is such a beautiful, magical way, that method that Baba teaches us. Remembrance of Baba will make me completely eligible for the beautiful world, because full inheritance can be claimed by remembering the one who is full in every quality, full in every power. And Baba today says that if you remember me, you will go to the world of happiness because you will become like me and you will deserve a world of happiness. So there are two laws in this. One is you become like the one you remember, and the second law is you attract as you are. So when you become full, you attract a world where nothing is unattained, everything is full. So Baba today states this law, and then Baba says that my Shrimat is, don't remember everyone, just remember me. So at this point of time, I'm giving you this elevated direction, this direction which nobody gives you or nobody can give you, that just remember me, don't remember anybody else. So Baba says, the Father says, don't remember everyone, remember just me alone. Remember me, the Father, a great deal. So when Baba says this, we listen to it, but then we keep remembering everyone. Yes? And when we remember everyone, then we are drawing into ourselves their weaknesses and their vices. Yes? You just keep remembering somebody who sits all day, you will be very motivated to become useless. You keep remembering somebody who doesn't honor the dignity of labor, they don't work, they believe in a lazy lifestyle, and then you will not even be aware how fast you can become lazy. So that's how fast we draw in powers, virtues, and efficiencies, or the lack of them, through remembrance. And if you look around in the world and ask yourself a simple question, is everyone and everything very powerful, virtuous, and very full of specialities or otherwise in the world? Then you see that the world is impure right now and everybody is functioning at a very low capacity. And if you keep remembering them, then you will not function at high capacity. And there is this brother yesterday, and he told me that, Didi, I have seen many people in the world, but you people are very motivated. And I have not seen many people, even those who get too much in return, like, this is selfless service, but even those who get a lot of profit and a lot of, return also, they are also not very motivated, not as motivated as you people are. So earlier we thought that money could motivate, but nowadays we feel that even money cannot motivate too much. And there are people who feel depressed and demotivated even when they are getting good salaries and they are able to, they are earning good income, but still they feel demotivated. So I told him, we are in remembrance of the one who is very, very motivated. So when we remember Baba, so you see, when you listen to the Murli, what is the Murli? The Murli is the mind of God. The Murli is the mind of God. And have you ever just noticed how when you read the Murli or listen to the Murli, it takes 40-45 minutes or so. But then you feel so recharged, so rejuvenated after the Murli, which you cannot, even if you do several things in the day, you cannot feel that recharged and that motivated. And yesterday's Murli was all about, zeal and enthusiasm, umang utsaha. And you really felt so motivated and enthusiastic after reading that Murli or listening to that Murli. And Baba says that I'm the only one who is right now full in everything, in knowledge, in purity, in peace. So if you are listening to anybody or talking to anybody, what you are listening to or talking to is not knowledge. It is Ravan Mat. It is the dictates of Ravan. And then they start becoming part of your buddhi. Or anybody you meet or talk to is not motivated for good karma, or they are not vibrating at the level of peace and purity. And when you remember them, you also start thinking like them, feeling like them, and your buddhi also starts discerning and deciding according to their energy field. Yes, so have you seen that even your Brahmins and you are mostly, when you are in your family setting, or when you have created, an atmosphere for yourself, like even if you're living with 3 people in the house or 4 people in the house, you have a timetable. You are able to listen to Murli and meditate, and you are able to create your own auric field at home. But have you seen that when you go and there is a group meeting, or there is, other family members are gathering, and when you go and you are part of that group and you are amidst them, then you lose your clarity about what is Shrimat and what is Parmat. Have you seen that? It becomes very blurred. You also start behaving like an Agyani there. So everybody is gossiping. You also start gossiping, and you're not even aware at that moment. And then later on, when you come back to your place where you're practicing everything, you become aware of what you did. So that's how much the energy field of others can affect us when we are young and we are practicing recently, and we have not developed our strengths enough, then other people's energy fields can affect us so much. And Baba says today that when you remember other people, you are bound to become like them. Or you remember the Kalyugi news or situations. So if you watch a lot of Kalyugi news also, where is it going? It's going into your man and buddhi. And then your man and buddhi act according to the state of mind of the people in the news. So those whose news it is about, you also start feeling the same pain, same fear, same sorrow. And then you also start functioning from that level of consciousness. So Baba has told us that only remember me. Don't remember anybody or anything in the world. And we listen to the Srimat every day, but I know that not everybody and nobody, I think, here remembers only Baba all through the day. And why is it so? Because remembrance has a lot of connection. So, there is, so remembering a flower for 10 minutes is a different thing. So, even, so let me, if I take you to a very beautiful garden, okay, and I just tell you that keep looking at the flowers only. Don't think about anything but only the flowers. You will notice that even in those 10 minutes, you're not able to only think about the flowers. You think about many other stuff also. So, there is one thought that crosses or another thought that crosses your mind. And it's a very interesting question that you can ask yourself, which is, why is it so difficult to remember the one I want to? And why is it so difficult to forget the ones I don't want to remember? And when you think about this, then you come to the conclusion that your state of consciousness decides who you remember. So, your consciousness is the basis of your remembrance. And what is consciousness? Consciousness is the sense of who you are. Your consciousness is your sense of who you are. And you remember as you are. So, if let's take one example, if it is office hour and I take you to the garden, then at that point you will only remember office work, and you will remember how many people might have called you in the office, and you will remember about all the work that is pending in the office, and you will not be able to focus on the garden, because at that point of time your consciousness is I'm an employee. And that's why work is your natural remembrance. So, remembrance is a product of consciousness. So, you remember as you are. And why we don't remember Baba constantly, or why we fail at remembering Baba constantly. So, you understood that if we remembered Baba constantly, then we would become like him. We would become full and claim our full inheritance. But why we don't remember Baba constantly is because you can only remember Baba when you're fully soul conscious. When you're fully soul conscious, because only in soul consciousness do you feel all relationships with Baba. Whenever there is even slight body consciousness, then you're pulled into the remembrance of people, places, and things of this world. And how do you develop full soul consciousness? So, for that, Baba always tells us churn the discus of self realization. Swadarshan Chakradhari Bano. Yes, and what is Swadarshan Chakradhari? You think of yourself as a soul in your entirety, in your whole journey. So many times in a day, just sit and think of yourself as a soul who lived in the soul world and then came down and played parts in heaven. And then you had 2500 years as a Bhagat. And then now my father, whom I was separated for 5,000 years, has come, and he's teaching me and taking me back to the world of peace and happiness. And when you start thinking about yourself as this soul who has had this big journey and whose parent has arrived, that parent for whom you begged and prayed and called out for so long has arrived, when you start thinking about yourself like that, then that memory inside you will emerge. That state of realization will emerge. And when you have this deep realization that I am a soul, then you will be in constant remembrance of Baba. So, this is why thinking about myself as a soul and thinking about how every soul is acting their part in the drama and looking at that, this whole drama as an interplay between souls, matter, and God, and an interplay which takes place over 5,000 years. If you keep thinking about the whole drama like that, then you will become pretty soul conscious. And in that soul conscious state, remembering Baba with your heart will be very easy, because this remembrance that Baba talks about is not the remembrance of chanting the name or something like that. It's remembrance of the heart, remembrance that takes place from a deep place in the heart. And in the depth of the heart, there is love. And only when you feel that relationship, that love with Baba, can you remember Baba with all your heart. So sometimes, very methodically and, as a discipline, many children remember Baba. So just, waking up in the morning and doing the Amrit Vela and doing Baba Baba, that's what many Brahmin children do. But that's not remembrance. Remembrance is when you remember from the heart. Remembrance is an act of the heart. Prayer is an act of the mouth. Chanting is an act of the mouth or the mind, maybe. But remembrance is not about the mind or the mouth. It's about that deep place within you in the heart. And psychology says that, so one thing is when you remember someone from the heart, then you draw into yourself his qualities, his specialities, powers, virtues, everything. And then the second thing is when you remember somebody from the heart, their remembrance sits in your heart. And when it's time to leave the body, you will remember them automatically. And we are not even aware, what are the deepest memories sitting in our heart. Because where there was this deep connection, those memories are still there, all that sediment of 63 births. And Baba says this deep sense of realization that I am a soul and Baba is the one who is my liberator, guide, parent, friend, everything. This deep realization will allow you to remember Baba in a manner where you can ensure that Baba's remembrance sits in your heart in such a way that when you leave your body, you will finally remember Baba in your final moments. And then your final thoughts will lead to your final destination. And there is this thing that Baba says, don't just say Baba Baba with your lips, but remember Baba internally in such a way that your final thoughts lead you to your destination. Renounce any consciousness of bodies and consider yourselves to be souls. The more you consider yourselves to be souls and remember the Father, the more your sins will be absolved. So it's all about considering yourself to be a soul so deeply that the only remembrance you have will be that of Baba. And then there is a question somebody has asked that, Baba, I don't live with Baba for 5,000 years. So, for 5,000 years we are on this stage and we only live with Baba for a very small time. So, and also in the timeless world, so no idea about time there. So in the soul world, when you're with Baba, and then mostly you are away from Baba. Then how can you love Baba so deeply? When you don't live with Baba. So the answer is, do you really love the people you live with? Because if that was so, then there would be no problems in the world. Because we are mostly not loving to the people we live with. Yes. So it doesn't matter who you live with. So remembrance becomes easy. So it's very easy to remember those who give you all attainments, and those who fulfill all relationships with you. So, if somebody has really been a good friend, even if that friendship was for 2 days or 5 days or a week, if they've been a good friend, you can remember them, right? And if somebody has been there but they've not been a good friend, so even if they are all the time around, you don't remember them with love. So Baba says that I meet you only once. You are a soul. And I, in that one meeting, give you everything. You keep looking for purity, peace, love, knowledge, bliss, power, happiness. All 63 births. And you don't find them. And when I come, I give you the soul, that which you're looking for in people, places, and things for so, so long. And so when you realize that when I'm with Baba, I find everything. And when I'm away from Baba, I only spend time looking for everything. So it is very easy to understand. When you understand you are a soul and realize that all your attainments and the experience of relationships that you've been seeking for so long is only coming from Baba. So, you have been seeking certain, you want to feel a certain way in relationships. And you have tried to feel that way in all your relationships, but those relationships have not made you feel that way. And when Baba comes, you feel the love of a father, mother, friend, guide, everything. Beloved, doctor, everything. So Baba gives us the juice of every relationship, the taste of every relationship. And then Baba also gives the soul every attainment that one needs. So when you recognize that I am a soul and Baba is the one who is giving me everything that I ever needed, then you know that the only one you should love is Baba. Because you became attached to, and the basic quality of love is it never makes you attached. Yes. You become attached to something that doesn't quench you. So just take an example. When you're thirsty, do you get attached, and you have water and the water quenches your thirst? Do you get attached to water? No. You can never get attached to something that fulfills you. You only get attached to something that leaves you empty. You never get attached to something that fulfills you. You get attached to something that leaves you empty. And that's why, you don't get attached to water, air, fire, the five elements. Because whenever you need them, you take it and quench the need of your body. But through human relationships, you are trying to get what the soul needs: love, peace, happiness. And that doesn't get quenched because the human beings are not able to fulfill that in you because they don't have enough. And that's why you get attached to them. Why don't you get attached to the sun and the stars and the air and the fire and water? Because they are there to fulfill physical needs and they quench that full need. And so you can live with them in a detached fashion. You love them and you're totally detached. And because the human spirit is seeking love, purity, happiness, peace from humans, and human beings don't have it. So you never have enough of it. And so you are always fearful about losing your source because you're not full. And when Baba comes, you're full. So then you become detached for 21 births. Detached from Baba and detached from everyone and everything because you become full. So you don't have attachment for someone who makes you full. You always have attachment to someone who leaves you empty. And when Baba comes, you get over attachment for 21 births. Okay, Om Shanti. Let's thank Baba for some time. So remember that you have to remember Baba. Practice soul consciousness. Remember Baba because the death of deaths has come and it is time to leave the body. So we better get prepared for that which we will take with ourselves.